In the headlines, education authorities reporting an improvement in this year's common entrance examination. An attorney disbarred. The opposition DLP supports wiretapping. And in sports, the Windies and Proteas set for their women's ODI series decider.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. A slight improvement in this year's Barbados Secondary School's entrance examination results when compared to last year's, with females once again outperforming their male counterparts. In mathematics, there was an increase in the number of students scoring above 50%, with 65% of the students scoring 50 or more marks, while the remaining 35% scored less than 50 marks. Meanwhile, 2 female students scored 0 in mathematics, whereas 24 students, including 13 females and 11 males, scored 100. Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw says the national mean in mathematics this year is 60.2 compared to 54.6 last year.
The analysis of the results in mathematics shows that there has been an improvement in the performance of students in mathematics this year when we compare it to previous years. We also saw that students continue to demonstrate average knowledge of basic mathematical concepts. Several students continue to experience extreme difficulty in applying knowledge and skills to new situations. Females continue to perform above the national mean on each section of the paper and exhibit a higher level of understanding of mathematical concepts than their male counterparts, and males continue to perform below the national mean in every section of the paper.
Now, in terms of the English results, this year no student scored 0. 85.1% of the students scored 50 and above, while the remaining 14.9% scored below 50. Of the 3 students who scored full marks on the English paper, 1 came from Wills Private School, 1 from Charles F. Broome Primary, and the other from St. Paul's Primary. Overall, the national mean in English for 2025 is 72.5 as compared to 65.2 in 2024 and 69.5 in 2023.
And the statistics show that there was a 7.3 point increase in performance over 2024 and a 6.3 points increase over 2023. We realize that in the English, students demonstrate average knowledge of basic grammar, vocabulary, and comprehension concepts on both sections of the paper. Female students again outperformed their male counterparts. A significant number of students continue to experience challenges in the use of English and their ability to comprehend expository text, and males continue to perform below the national mean in every section of the paper.
Students have started to benefit from the groundwork in advancing the education transformation agenda. Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw, says this year's Barbados Secondary School's entrance examination results are evidence that initiatives being introduced as part of the transformation agenda are working. She says in 2016, the national mean in English was 67.92% compared to 72.5% this year. And in mathematics, the national mean was 48.3% compared to an improvement of 60.2% in 2025.
As you can see in the graph, the orange line represents mathematics and the blue line represents the English. And you can see that there are a lot less children scoring 50 marks or less this year than in previous years. Like the minister, I use the opportunity to congratulate the principals, the teachers, and the parents and other members of staff who have been working with our students to make sure that they can reach their potential.
Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman is assuring Barbadians that the ministry is following through on its mandate to make every school in Barbados an exceptional institution.
The School of Excellence in Early Childhood Care and Development will be launched in the upcoming academic year. It will serve as a model for best practice and help better prepare our children for primary education. Now, the Ministry of Educational Transformation will continue to work with the Erdison Teachers Training College so as to provide continuous professional development workshops for the advancement of our teachers and our educational leaders. The designs from the design competition will also guide school upgrades focusing on education transformation, climate resilience, and sustainability. Work has also begun in the preparation of the establishment of a Teaching Service Commission, Leadership Institute, and an independent quality assurance body. Additionally, the review of the Education Act and related regulations is underway.
Now, as mentioned, this year's top achiever in the Barbados Secondary School's entrance examination is Kaya Ariana Walcott from Wills Primary School. Walcott scored 100 in mathematics and 100 in English, with a total converted score of 241.46 with a B. Meanwhile, top boy and second overall achiever is Jacori Giovanni Carmichael from St. Paul's Primary. Carmichael scored 99% in mathematics and 100% in English, with a total converted school value of 240.90 with a B. Walcott has been allocated to Harrison College, while Carmichael is going to his school of choice. Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman is congratulating all the students who sat the examination.
I want to say to our children, this is your moment, and I want to commend you once again for doing your best and for your future in this year's exam. Now, of course, as you go to your respective secondary schools come September, I want you to take hold of the opportunities with which you are being presented. And wherever you go, the ministry will ensure that you're given what is required so as to succeed, working with your principals, your teachers, your parents, the parent teachers, associations, the staff at the school, because why? Once we can get our education right, once we can get our children into the idea of loving school, doing well in the different areas of discipline, focus, and creativity, backed by innovation, believe you me, Barbados will be a country that continues to punch above its weight, not just now, but now and into the future.
Well, disbarred attorney at law Vonda Pyle has 7 days to submit her files of clients to the registrar of the Supreme Court. This was part of the ruling handed down by Chief Justice Leslie Haynes in the Court of Appeal earlier today, following a recommendation by the Barbados Bar Association. Pyle was found guilty on June 5, 2019, of stealing $191,416.39 from former client Ainsley King between April 29, 2009 and October 26, 2010. She had spent approximately 3 years in prison before returning to her law practice. Additionally, Chief Justice Haynes ordered that she be barred from withdrawing funds from clients' accounts and that she submit a general ledger within a week of showing the balance of clients' funds as at June 16th. Pyle's name has also been removed from the list of attorneys. Another shooting. Another homicide, pushing the toll so far for the year to 25. Dead is Anderson Calderon, 39 years, of North Close, Wildy, St. Michael. Police Public Affairs and Communications Officer Inspector Ryan Brathwaite says initial investigations have shown that Calderon was in the area of Skeets Road, the Ivy, St. Michael, when several gunshots were discharged, striking and fatally wounding him about 12:03 this morning. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are appealing to anyone who may have witnessed this incident or anyone who has any information that may assist them to please contact the Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-8477, Police Emergency at 211, or call the District A Police Station at 430-7242 or 430-7246. Investigations are continuing. Support tonight for the use of wiretapping and truth verification by the police is coming from Leader of the Opposition, DLP, Ralph Thorne. Those measures were recently announced by Prime Minister Mia Amor-Mottley during a nationally televised news conference in response to the growing crime situation here on the island. Speaking at a news conference this morning, Mr. Thorne says those measures, however, cannot be arbitrary or done by a political entity.
We would suggest that in terms of wiretapping and lie detection tests, if the police are onto something, quite often the police are onto things. And I pause and I say, let the police continue their work, let the police be onto things without political interference or intervention. The work of the police is insulated and properly insulated by law from political interference or political control, so that there are procedures and protocols which must guide the question, the activity of wiretapping and truth verification. We therefore as a party would want to support such a measure by the police, because this is about death now. This is not merely about people losing their property. This is about people losing their lives. And this society must be protected against crime.
Mr. Thorne also says there must be controls.
If there's to be wiretapping and truth verification, there must be a paper trail in which they prove that they have a warrant to conduct such activity, and no citizen will stand above that exercise. Everyone, from the highest public official back down to the vagrant in the street, will be subject to the same protocols and procedures. So that we would want to suggest that these exercises would be done only by the grant of a warrant, and not a warrant signed by a justice of the peace, because a lot of the justices of the peace are political appointees.
Well, coming up, fire destroyed an unoccupied building in the city. Members of the Barbados Fire Service were pressed into action twice on Father's Day. On this occasion, fire at Pinfold Street, the city, destroyed an unoccupied building. 3 water tenders, a tanker, and 21 fire officers under the command of Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard responded to the blaze just around 6 p.m. Chief Maynard says they approached the fire defensively and quickly brought it under control. And he is appealing to property owners of abandoned buildings to secure their properties.
It appears as though in both buildings, what we commonly call paros live in these buildings or access these buildings. And we've recognized over time that that is a recipe for problems, because basically on most of the occasions we find that they're conducting some sort of activity in there with fire, and we get these problems.
There's a fresh call for Barbadians to join their local district emergency organizations, or DEOs, to respond to man-made and natural disasters. The 30 organizations strategically placed across the island play a critical role in community disaster preparedness and response, but many of them are lacking the appropriate number of volunteers. Consultant with the Department of Emergency Management, Selwyn Brooks, says there's a need for DEOs to be ready and working now more than ever, when climate change is a major threat to the island. He was speaking on CBC TV8's The People's Business.
And we now need more than ever to prepare ourselves, because climate change is bringing a completely different scope of what disaster management and the face of disaster management is all about. We are seeing hurricanes and systems of the magnitude that we have never had before. We have also seen, no one would have thought that even though we don't have a volcano, that we will not have been impacted how we were when the volcano in St. Vincent erupted. Tsunami activity, I do not believe there are very many persons in Barbados who have actually lived through a tsunami. So all these are areas that we're considered to be relatively new, because Barbados predominantly always used to prepare for a hurricane.
Okay.
And a hurricane is the only hazard that gives you the luxury, for want of a better word, to say it is coming.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Brooks further explains that St. Lucie, St. Peter, St. James, St. Philip and Christchurch have maintained active district emergency organizations due to committed, long-standing volunteers. He says volunteers with the DEOs are exposed to high levels of training and many other opportunities.
People must now start to see volunteerism not only in terms of monetary gains, but the knowledge that you would occur and the experience and the bare share of giving back to society and helping your fellow individual. I don't think you can put a monetary cost to that if you are effectively serving your community. I know that the young people will say, money, volunteer are looking for money. But however, being a DO arms you with certain skill sets that you can use to protect yourself and your family. It also gives you the opportunity when you go to your respective workplaces that you can assist them in the establishment of the emergency plans and emergency mechanism based on your level of training.
It was a day of family and fun as local charity Quaver Foundation brought the Christchurch South community together. Dubbed the Ultimate Fun Day, residents were treated to a kids zone, family and fitness and strength challenges, food and refreshments, and friendly football competitions at the Dover playing field. Organizers say the event was staged to capture the spirit of the community, family, and healthy competition in Barbados. Over 20 entrepreneurs also took part. Minister in the Prime Minister's office and Barbados Labour Party candidate for the area, Senator Dr. Chantel Monroe-Knight, was present, where she mingled with residents and even took on a challenge. She says it was a relaxed vibe at Dover.
We have tourists here, lots of kids in the kids zone. Again, everything is free. We also had candle making. There's a number of different activities here just for the community to come out and chill in a safe atmosphere. We have all of the Paradise football team here, outdoor fitness. We partnered as well with Mega Power. And you see young men, young women out here in Lyman, but everybody just cool and just having a good time. And it's the kind of vibe that we want to have for Barbados and for young people.
And we do apologize for the challenges with Anne-Marie's audio in the last part of Sports Night. She will be back for the second half of sports in just a bit. Victims of the recent car scam uncovered by police are being told that if the insurer finds out the vehicle was stolen, then coverage would be cancelled. And those already confiscated also have no recourse. That's the word from underwriting manager at Cooperators General Insurance, Kirkland Clark. He was reacting to the news of car scam intercepted by police at the weekend. The insurance officials say the condition is new to the industry.
We would need to look into the contract and see whether or not, given the circumstances, there was any way of compensating those persons. I am not sure that this is the type of loss that would have been considered under the insurance policy at the time that it was effected. And as such, that person or those persons receiving compensation from the insurance company for vehicle being confiscated is not something that would normally be covered.
Along the same lines, Chief Executive Officer at CG United Insurance, Randy Graham, says it's an unusual matter and complimented the Barbados Police Service for their action and called on Barbadian car buyers to exercise due diligence when purchasing used vehicles.
To avoid any negative fallout of you having a loan on the vehicle and the vehicle might be caught up in this issue, you have to move quickly to get to the finance institution and to the police to work with them to minimize the output.
Mechanics and technical specialists will soon be iCar certified. Word of this came from managing partner of Elevate Auto Care, Richard Atkins, at the recent opening of the new facility located at Uplands Factory Yard, St. John. With over 300 courses available, Mr. Atkins says iCar has the automotive industry's largest education portfolio of training that fulfills credential requirements that are driven by the industry through the automotive collision repair industry knowledge and skills protocols. Trevor Thorpe took a tour of the 10,000 square foot facility and he files this report.
Managing partner at Elevate Auto Care, Richard Atkins, says their emphasis will be on service and treating every vehicle that comes into the shop as their own. He says they are bringing a new form of service excellence to the industry in Barbados.
So Elevate is actually Elevate Investment Partners out of Atlanta. That's where we started. And so our investment team, we looked at different opportunities and decided we want to be in Barbados. So we have ICAR is a big certification unit in the U.S. Some of our technicians are already going through the ICAR certification, and we're looking to become an ICAR certified workshop. What that means that all your technicians have gone through at least the silver level of their certification, and you have annual CUs that you have to keep up to make sure that you stay certified in the latest technology. EVs are the big push now, so we're looking to get our technicians certified in electrical vehicles.
Admitting that the vehicles on the road predominantly have internal combustion engines, he believes the company's custom details and the use of AI will bring a new level of expertise to what is already in the market.
I'm a software developer by heart, so we built some garage management software that I can tell you every minute where your car is in the production line, and we're going to share that with you, the customer. So you don't have to call and ask. We'll tell you. Your car just went into the paint booth. Your car is in the prep room. Your car body work is here. And we'll push those out via SMS, WhatsApp, email, whatever your preference communication.
Mr. Atkins says much attention will be given to the turnaround time for smaller jobs, which will be bolstered by a while-you-wait service with social amenities.
If your car's in an accident, it depends on the damage, availability of parts. In terms of servicing, we're doing our turnarounds in 30 minutes to an hour. We have a concierge lounge here where you can wait while your vehicle is being serviced. We provide you with refreshments, entertainment, and we're trying to follow the model where we can do a full service in less than an hour. And we're actually trying to bring that down to 30 minutes. So we're going to take baby steps, but our goal is with 30 minutes in and out. And we practiced it this week, and we're hitting our point, so that's our goal.
The use of online technology to prepare estimates is also part of what is on offer from the St. John-based company. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Anne-Marie is back for the second half of sports. Over to you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you so much, Tisha. We continue with cricket. As Cricket West Indies and the West Indies Players Association have released a list of nominees for the 8th CWI Weeper Awards Gala set for June 22nd at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle Resort. The awards gala recognizes and celebrates excellence across international formats and domestic tournaments. And this year will also serve as a tribute to the 50th anniversary of the 1975 ICC Cricket World Cup victory under the legendary leadership of Sir Clive Lloyd. Here's a look at the nominees. Fast bowler Alzari Joseph and star all-rounder Hayley Matthews head a list of nominees for the upcoming Cricket West Indies and West Indies Players Association 8th Awards Gala. Joseph has been nominated for 3 awards among the men, while Matthews has been nominated for 2 women's awards. Alzari will be vying for the Test Player of the Year, Men's ODI Player of the Year and Men's T20 Player of the Year. In the Test lineup, he joins the likes of former skipper Craig Brathwaite, Kavim Hodge, Shamar Joseph and Jaden Seals. And this may be the category which he holds the greatest possibility of winning. Over the year under review, it's his exploits with the ball that would give him most credit. He took 26 wickets with best figures of 4 for 84 in January of 2024 against Australia. But we must look at former skipper Craig Brathwaite's credentials highlighted by some milestones, as on November 30th of last year, he played in his 86th consecutive Test match, eclipsing the 85 consecutive record set by the great Sir Garfield Sobers. He was also skipper of the team that in January of this year defeated Pakistan in Pakistan for the first time in 35 years. Personally, before putting down his bat as Test captain after 3 years at the helm, he scored a total of 456 runs in the past year. Not outstanding, but noteworthy. With the West Indies not having much Test play, the other contenders, Kavim Hodge, had the highlight of his maiden Test century in England in July of 2024. Jaden Seals with the ball had overall figures of 35 wickets. And my wildcard pick for taking this category could be Shamar Joseph,
whose 29 wickets came with more flair. This category will be left to be seen. However, Joseph's chances in the other two categories are slim, as top performers Casey Carty and Nicholas Pooran will be the favourites to win the ODI and T20 awards respectively. Carty showed his prowess in 2024 by leading the West Indies in scoring with 560 runs at a staggering average of 62.22 in 11 innings. The others contending the ODI honours are the white ball skipper Shea Hope, who was the joint third highest century maker for the Caribbean team in one-day internationals after notching a 17th century against England in November. Gudakesh Moti, known as an economical bowler, was named the ICC Men's Player of the Month for May 2024. He also played a critical role in the West Indies series win over South Africa, taking 8 wickets at an average of 8.5. And Sherfray Rutherford must also be a strong factor, as back in December, he scored 113 runs against Bangladesh, leading the West Indies to a 5-wicket victory and breaking an 11-match losing streak against them. And that came on the heels being the top scorer for the West Indies with 204 runs across 3 matches in the ODI series in Sri Lanka. In the shortest format, the T20s, Pooran is definitely the man to beat. His 2024 T20 season was marked by record-breaking achievements and consistent performances across international and franchise cricket, solidifying his status as a formidable force in the T20 format. To pick one, during the 2024 T20 World Cup, Pooran became the highest run scorer for the West Indies in T20s, surpassing Chris Gayle's tally of 1,899 runs. The other contenders in this category are Akil Hossain, Joseph, Brandon King and Rothman Powell. I must make quick mention of former skipper Powell. He was the leading run scorer for the Windies, amassing 153 runs in the November series against England, and led the regional men to the Super 8 stage of the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup, with his leadership and contributions being pivotal throughout the tournament. On the female side of things, undoubtedly, Hayley Matthews will look to take home the awards for Women's T20 Player of the Year and Women's ODI Player of the Year. In the ODIs, Hayley's stand-up performance came against Pakistan, where she amassed 325 runs, including 2 centuries, and took 6 wickets, earning her Player of the Series award. While in the T20s against Pakistan, she led from the front, scoring 205 runs and being also named Player of that series. Matthews' stellar performances earned her a spot in the ICC's prestigious 2024 Team of the Year, and Wisden's leading T20 cricketer in the world in April of 2024, honoured with this accolade reflecting her dominance in the T20 format. The other women ODI nominees are Afi Fletcher, Chanel Henry, Zeta James and Stephanie Taylor. While in the T20s, there's Shemaine Campbell, Fletcher, Henry and Karishma Ramarat. Additionally, there will also be awards on offer for West Indies Championship Player of the Year, Regional T20 Player of the Year, CG United Super 50 Cup Player of the Year, CG United Women's Super 50 Cup Player of the Year, the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze Player of the Year. The Cricket West Indies Reaper Awards Gala will be held on June 22nd at the Wyndham Grand Barbados, Sam Norris Castle.
And that's it for sports. Back over to you, Tisha. Hey, thank you, Anne-Marie. That's Newsnight. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.